Good morning, everyone, from General Luna, Siargao Island, Philippines. How is everybody doing? All right, mute that quick. How's everybody doing? I know I put up a last second live stream. Didn't know if I was going to do a live today, but I'm like, all right, yeah, let's do a live. Let's out doing a walk this morning, and well, I'm just here. What am I going to do? Watch news. So I figured, yeah, let's do a live. Well, I tell you what, some parts of the Philippines this past week, they got a ton of rain, ton of rain, flooding, and all that crazy stuff. Typhoon rolled through. Here, we're south. We don't have the rainy season now. We have, more of our summer. But oh my God, the humidity, man, it'll kill you. It will kill you. It'll wear you out. But yeah, we're getting hot down here in Siargao Island. I'm not complaining. I'm just stating a fact. Even this morning, hot. So yeah, Slick Rick. How is Slick Rick doing? Hope you are well. Bruce, good morning or evening. Yes, it's evening in Florida. How are you, Banji, doing? Hope you guys are doing well. Good morning, Mike, our Philippines journey. How are you doing? You didn't flood. You didn't flood out. You didn't float away. I know I was talking with Hannah this past week, and they didn't have school, online schooling. It was just that bad. Mike says, I'm in and out, sanding down a wall, doing a wall repair, leaky air con. But yeah, I guess when you own your own condo, you can do your own work, right? Who are you going to call? I guess you have to call somebody in, a mechanic or a carpenter or a drywall guy, or just do it yourself. Bob Kirkman, how are you doing this morning? I hope you are doing well, or I don't know where you're at, evening, morning, wherever. But yeah, Arturo, how are you doing, Arturo? Did you get washed away? I'm using the new internet connection we have here. Seems to be doing good. The only problem is I don't have a UPS or anything on anything in this apartment. So if it's a brownout, I will lose internet. So if I all of a sudden get kicked off, it's because I lost power. And it's a guarantee at least once a day there's going to be a brownout. I want to go on, what is it? Who do we have here? Sirocco. I want to go on Sirocco's webpage because they'll always let you know, hey, we had a brownout at this area on the island, and we've restored it and brought back the power. And I want to put a survey on there. As a paying customer, I want to know, can you go 24 hours without a brownout? See, people love to say, oh, you're a guest in the Philippines. You don't have the right to say anything. And I'm going to say, you know what? Bullshit. Yes, you do. If you're a paying customer, you have a right to say something. You have a right to speak up. However, it's going to go unanswered. You can talk to somebody and, say, you buy something, you go back and you're like, hey, you told me this would work. I brought it home and it won't work. You told me it would work with my system or whatever. Now you're going to get the old, sorry, sir. Sorry, sir. But when people say, as an expat, you don't have a right to say anything, bullshit. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You have a right to speak up. Oh, hey, you overcharged me here. All right. Well, I'm not going to say anything because I don't have the right to speak up. Well, if you go in there and you show proof that, hey, you were overcharged, they might look and say, okay, yes, you were overcharged. Okay, we'll compensate you. We'll give you your money back. What you have a right to speak up. But when people say that, I laugh. Yep, don't speak up. Now, certain situations, yeah, you don't have a right to speak up. It's not your country. You don't have a right in politics, things like that. But you have the right to speak up if you're a paying customer. There's my rant. Good morning, Jesse. Hey, how are you doing? Robert, good morning. I have a friend in Subic, and he said it hasn't stopped raining. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, I think how I seen it, like that typhoon wrapped around the Philippines and came in a different direction, not the normal way. Wanderlust, how are you doing? Solid waves at Cloud 9 this week. I haven't, did I go by Cloud 9? Yeah, I drove by Cloud 9 yesterday, but didn't stop. Yeah, I did stop. I stopped at the bakery to pick up some pastries, but didn't really stop and look at the waves. We kind of stayed inside all day. It was just hot. Now, today, Lut and I were going to go down to the one place here. Yeah, all right. We're going to go down to the one place here and do our 500 peso consumable fee and just hang out at the pool. Infinity pool that overlooks the ocean and everything, and grab something to eat and kind of chill out that way. Good morning from Cebu. What's up? Did you walk? Oh, you didn't? Oh, you're going for a walk now. Oh, okay. All right, I'll be here. Our street never got more than a half an inch flooding so far. Wow. Mike, I always thought that road running down through there turned into a river. Maybe somebody cleaned out the what do you call it, the drainage, right? Mr. Satman 2000. Good morning from Indiana. Heat wave. You got a heat wave there too, huh? Hello from Atlantic City, Scott. How are you doing? 1:30 a.m. in UK. Loving the Trump in Scotland. Good morning from Illinois. Good morning from Northern Manchester, Indiana. Sexy Rexy. Mr. Gambit, I gotta ask why you bought at least a good generator as a backup. When those brownouts happen, if I move there and stay the province, that's what I'm going to do. You can buy a generator; they're great. Our brownouts, except for last year, they only last 15 minutes, half hour at the most. When they do have these brownouts, it's like they're really good at getting on the brownout and boom, powering back on. They're really good. I got to give them that. We're not browned out for hours and hours and hours. So, unless it's a major disaster like we had last year, I wouldn't even flip on a generator for a half hour brownout. You know what I'm saying? But I did learn that, and they even got better since last year, that not to just load my freezer full of food. I remember we had a couple brownouts last year that lasted for a while, especially the big brownout. And I just went shopping, and we lost a lot of food. Not a lot. And I wouldn't say a lot because what we did, we just started cooking up a bunch of food. But we don't shop like that anymore. Like we might buy a couple days worth of frozen products. Um, but yeah, I understand what you're saying. It's good to have in case you have a major power outage. Good morning from Bangkok. Sexy Rexy says it's super humid here, super hot here. ADM, super hot and humid. My friend in Cebu does have both solar panel and small wind generator. Tired of all the brownouts. Yeah. How comes it's okay for a foreigner to bitch and moan and want their way in Western countries? There you go. Good question. Um, I don't know. Double standard? You know what I'm saying? Rain for 10 days straight, Arturo said. Giddy Philly. Good day, Philly from Australia. Good day to you. Good day. Good day, Mike. From Peter T. How are you doing? Mike married to a beautiful Filipina, a beautiful woman. Hi, Lut and Brian. Hello, Mike. How are you? From Queensland, Australia. Bruce is giving out his weather, his weather forecast for the next couple days. Robert, how are you doing, Robert? Hello, hi, Brian. I'm Lut from Texas. Brian, do you know what happened to Pappy's Hotel Bar and Chill Grill? I think it's a new owner because they are closed for a month and just reopened back up. I heard it's been reopened, new owner. Um, as far as Eric and Mercy themselves, what are they doing? What are they up to? Haven't heard anything. Um, I don't know. I mean, businesses come and go in the Philippines. Why did they close? Who knows? There's a lot of rumors. There's a lot of rumors. They owed money. They this, they that. They didn't pay their last 2 months rent. Well, guys, here, and I've done this in the Philippines. You pay first month's rent, a security deposit, and you're paying like 3 months worth of rent, right? Philippine owners of, say, like a restaurant, say of a apartment and things like that, they love keeping your deposit. They love it. Why? It'll cost you more money and time to go to file a case on them than what it's even worth. They love to keep it. A lot of them will have it spent the day you give it to them. You know what I'm saying? I've done it. Matter of fact, the last house we were in, we want to use our security deposit. We want to use our last month's rent. All right. No, you're not keeping my money to go out and buy new paint so you can repaint the apartment that we lived in, which you should do because it's your apartment. You're not going to go out and fix those things that you didn't want to fix while we were renting off of my dime. You know what I'm saying? But they're good for that. I think I had one landlord who actually gave me my deposit back. And this guy was a good guy. But others, no. And I've heard it from other expats living here. Some have gotten their money back. A lot haven't gotten their money back. So for people to say they didn't pay their last 2 months worth of rent, well, no, they used their deposits, I'm sure. Oh, we're not going to give you your security deposit back. What do you mean? Look at all the amazing remodeling they did in that place. Brought it up to par. But you hear that rumor, you hear other rumors, they're just rumors. If Eric and Mercy want to come out and say what's going on, let them come out and say it. But yeah, I heard the restaurant is back open. Um, I think some things have changed on the menu, of course, different names. But I don't know. Time will tell. Time will tell. Whoever the owner is, don't know who the owner is. Um, will they keep the same menu? Will they change the menu? Uh, because a lot of times people want to, change things up, lower the quality of the food, but keep the high price. So, but no, I was told it's reopened. I don't know. I'm sure when I go back to visit, I will stop in, and I always enjoyed the food there. And I knew Eric and Mercy outside of, you know, people on YouTube. A lot of people knew him from his channel and stuff, and then came and stayed there with him, and got to know him that way. Um, but I knew him out. I knew them outside YouTube. We've had barbecues together. Matter of fact, well, we all went down to Porto Galera and hung out down at Porto Galera for, a few days down there. We knew them outside. Um, they're nice people, very nice people, good people, good-hearted people. Um, but yeah, I mean, rumors. But yeah, it's back open. Check it out. If you go to Angeles City, I guess check it out. Life and Times of the BB. Did you check out Western Union for your money? Works good. $10 to get $1,000. I've checked out Western Union in the past. All right. And I mean, it's Western Union. But my thing is, I'm always looking to get the best bang for your buck. It might not cost much to send you money and everything like that, but it may have changed. But if the going rate is, say, 56 pesos on the US dollar, they might give you a peso or two less. You see what I'm saying? I'm trying to get the best bang for my buck. That's why I always wrote a check. I always wrote a check, and people say, oh, that's the old way. You're so old. Whatever. But I only got charged $5, and that money was mine sitting there. So when I seen the peso rate that I liked, I could move my money. It's not like, I went paycheck to paycheck. I have a nice amount of money in my bank account here. And I tell you what, you should. And let me tell you why. When COVID first hit, banks were closed. They were closed. Then they only were allowing, how was that? I couldn't go in and write a check for like 3 months, even when the banks were open. I had to start using up the money I had sitting in my peso account. All right. So if you think, all right, well, I'm going to transfer money or whatever in a situation, you might not be able to transfer money like in COVID when it came to like writing a check. I don't know the other stuff. So I had to start using up the money I had in my peso account. Now, when they started allowing me to write a check again, I just mass deposited money from my U.S. bank account in to make up that difference. But yeah, I always try to get the best bang for my buck. That's why, a lot of people say Wise. A lot of people have said Wise is good. Remedy, I think it's Remedy is good. Matter of fact, just spoke to an expat I just met here on the island last night, and I use Wise all the time, and he has a business, and he pays his employees out of Wise, and he goes, I never have a problem, never have a problem. So I don't know. I'm still not giving up on the bank to bank transfer. If I'd have known now what I knew then, I would never have closed my BPI account. I would have kept that open, because evidently you can transfer money from the States into BPI. Then I would just transfer that money to my PNB bank. I don't know. PNB Bank is behind. They're behind in times. Ah, hello from Virginia, Mike and Marichu. Oh yeah, no return of my deposit. Extra month I stay with not paying. Yeah, some people, you know, they some people what they do is they think, hey, I'm going to get my deposit back and all this other stuff. I'm going to use that money to use for my next place I'm at. Well, you can't be guaranteed that, right? Remember the one place we moved out of? We moved out, and we cleaned up, mopped the floors, swept the floors, and the lady said, "Well, I had to hire a cleaning company to come in and clean the apartment." Bullshit. They will. Some landlords will try everything and anything to take your money. Our first sorry store. We had a nice little store down below, um, little apartment upstairs, and it had a major water leak. And I kept telling the landlord, dude, you got a major water leak here. Fix this. He never fixed it. He never fixed it. He never fixed it. But when we moved, oh, he kept our security deposit. I know what he did with it. He fixed that water leak. And then he showed up at our other store over in Angeles. All right. Hey. Man, we ignored him. Like, get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. You're a piece of trash. Ah, Rhea is cheap to send with. I have to check into it. I will definitely have to check into it. Wheel Life Cycling. How are you doing? Hello from Virginia City, Nevada. Eric Mercy, hopefully all is well and good with them, and they spent a lot of money on renovations set up. Hope they are okay financially. Yeah, no one. I'm not going to say no one because there are haters in Angeles City. There's haters everywhere, right? There's people out there that are smiling. They failed. Okay, whatever. I hope you fail. But no one wishes anything bad on anybody. Who knows? I mean, maybe their health, maybe they just got tired of it. I know when I spoke to Eric, I think they lived there. They were there all the time, taking care of every little issue that arose, every little thing that happened. Maybe they're like, I retired and came to the Philippines, and this is crazy. You know what I mean? They spent a lot of time there. Maybe they're just like, I'm done. Um, who knows? Who knows? But yeah, I hope they're okay too. Joe, yes, that's what I mean. It's been a sad week. A sad week. Don't forget, who's the kid from the Cosby Show? Malcolm Jamal Warner, is that his name? He died. Kid drowned. Ozzy died. Hulk Hogan died. Crazy. I grew up watching Hulk. If it wasn't for Hulk Hogan, wrestling wouldn't be as big as it is now, or even around. Hulk was the headliner with Vincent McMahon for WrestleMania 1. Vince McMahon put his life savings into that WrestleMania 1 and hoped it would take off, and it did. And I don't care. I mean, Hulk Hogan was the face of wrestling. He brought wrestling to mainstream I was surprised. Even I was surprised. What? Um, well, who did you like? Did you like Hulk? Say your prayers, take your pills, you know, or did you like Hollywood Hulk Hogan? I always liked Hollywood Hulk Hogan. You know what I mean? I always thought the Hulk Hogan of, say your prayers and take your vitamins was too kiddie for me. And then when he went with into the NWO, the New World Order, and that's the Hogan I like. But here's the fucked up part. You know, yeah, he had controversy throughout the years. You know, it is what it is. But you couldn't take the fact of who he was away. And then I remember his last Raw appearance. Raw, Monday Night Raw. I know if you're not into wrestling, I'm sorry if I'm boring you. A lot of you guys are my age. Um, when Monday Night Raw went to Netflix, they had this big grand their first show on Netflix, and the stars were coming out and all this. And Hogan came out with Jimmy Hart, the mouth of the South, and you could hear boos, boo, boo. I'm like, why are they booing him? Guy's an icon, but if I'm not mistaken, it was right out. It was right after he had come out as a Trump supporter. So maybe you had people in there booing him for that and all this stuff. But yeah, they booed him. I remember that. But yeah, and then Ozzy, sad. Who else passed away? There were a couple other people that, because they weren't big names, had passed away. But yeah, old Ozzy. I just watched Ozzy's, his concert he did and everything. But Ozzy, yeah, I mean, the guy was sick. Yeah. Don says, is it worth having a vehicle there in the Philippines, or should I rely on transportation system? Don, I think it's really up to you. If you don't mind dealing with traffic, or maybe it depends on where you live. In Manila, I hated driving down there. I would take public transportation. In Angeles City, which is it's a fairly nice sized city. I didn't mind. Driving. It can stress you out. You always got to keep your eyes open. If you're going to live in a provincial area, a car's worth good. A car's worth having. A motorbike's having. Do you like riding a motorbike? Do you prefer a car over a motorbike? It's up to you. It is really up to you. I know people that live in Angeles City that don't own a single vehicle. They take public transportation or they walk. You got to remember one thing: it rains. So you hit a rainy season. It's up to you. You've got in the cities, you got Grab drivers and stuff that will take you different places. It's really up to the individual. I've always had my own transportation here. Then you got to weigh out the fact too. What do you want? Do you want one of the little four-wheel electric scooter? Little four-wheel electric little scooters or whatever. You want a motorbike? It's up to you. It's really up to you. I've always had some type of transportation here, and I've also taken public transportation. Robert, I've been a subscriber of yours for years. When Lutlut had her sorry store at the first location, then the second location, then the third one on MacArthur, you said be careful opening a big business. Yes. We only had 2 stores. First location was in Daulu. The second location was over in Angeles City. But yeah, that goes back. That goes back. Thanks for being a long time subscriber. Good morning, Butch. You're right, Bruce. I don't think I ever did close it. I think what the kid did was he goes, pull the money out. Just pull the money out. I don't know if he said it would automatically close or if it would freeze. Um, I can't remember. I will have to check into it. Um, yeah, you're right, Maximus. Who wants to work in retirement? You retire to relax and enjoy life, not a 9 to 5 job. Yeah, but I mean, I could understand because there are businesses out there that are run by foreigners, um, restaurants and stuff, and they've been there a while. They're established, and they handle the, maybe the everyday financial part of it from home and all that, but they're not on hand. They're not there like every day down in a restaurant area, making sure this has happened. They have people that have been doing it and they trust, and it's been running like a well-oiled machine. Um, but from talking with Eric and Mercy, it's like they were always there. You know what I mean? Always there. The Von Erichs were good too. Yes, the Von Erichs. I just watched a YouTube video on the Von Erichs. I think there's one brother left. The Von Erichs. What was there? 5, 6 of them. They all died tragically. All that talent and crazy, crazy. Hello, Nate from Atlanta, Georgia. What? Maximus, are you saying wrestling is fake? You know what? When I was a kid, I would have friends. I'm talking younger, high school and stuff. And I don't watch wrestling. It's fake. I'm like, all right, come over here. I would stick them in the figure four. The figure four. That Ric Flair used to stick on people. And I'd crank down on that leg and it would tear at their knee. And then I would say to them, is it fake? Hulk body slammed Andre the Giant too. Yeah, you know what though? There was always that rumor like Andre the Giant has never been slammed. Hulk Hogan was the first person to slam Andre the Giant. That is not true. I mean, now granted, Andre wasn't slammed on a regular basis, but Andre the Giant was body slammed previously to the big Hulk Hogan body slam. You use Remitly, always good rates. Euro to Philippines directed by BPI account, and only €1 transaction fee for direct Philippines bank. Pick up the transaction fee is higher. Yeah, that was another one that came up. Remitly, didn't really check into it. You know what I mean? Um, but that and Wise, those were the two that came up. I used to use Zoom when I first got over here, 2012, and they would only allow you to send so much at a time. I'm like, wait, this is my money. So I went into Zoom and created another Zoom account. And somehow they knew it was me creating another Zoom account so I could get more money to myself. And they locked my Zoom account. Bastards. So then I used my ATM card, from Santander here. And when it was all said and done, with me withdrawing money, an international fee, and the ATM machine I was using was like $20. No, I love the Iron Sheik. Yes. I remember watching John Stutzel in 2020 getting slapped by a wrestler. When he asked him if their moves were all fake, the wrestler stopped him and asked him, "Did that feel fake?" Yeah, I remember. I remember. I remember that. Remember when Jerry the King Lawler and Andy Kaufman had that thing going, and everybody thought it was real. Everybody thought it was real, but it wasn't. It was. It was put on for entertainment to draw people in. Hulk was hated by most other pros because he was a rat and exposed the organization as a union and got it stopped. He was making great money and the others were struggling. True, true. Hey, like I said, his life was not without controversy. Um, he was a top dog. He was making shot calls. He was, doing all that, and it was in, it was, it has developed to what it is now. But yeah, I think, I don't know, is it Jesse the Body that just don't like him? So I don't know if Jesse said anything or not. Jesse's the kind of guy that might be like, nope, I hate him, period. You plan to visit Angeles anytime soon. See those major changes? Next time I will be in Angeles City will be when Hannah graduates. I will be up there to watch her graduate, and we'll spend a little time up there. Of course. The icon has returned to Angeles City. That'll get some people twisted, right? Some haters twisted. Uh, Good morning, Brian. If you live in a province, it's helpful to have a car, or better yet, a truck. Yeah. Um, I, yeah. I mean, this island here, people do have cars, and nothing wrong with that. A lot of people who ride motorbikes. I mean, I made it through the rainy season on my motorbike. I have a trike here, so I can stay dry. Um, this island's not big. I think if you do the whole loop, like do the whole loop all the way around, I think somebody said 4 to 6 hours, something like that. But you're not speeding. You're not going very fast. On the motorbike, where we live in Dapa is the very bottom of Sherriga Island. I can get to the northern tip of Sherriga Island in about an hour and 15 minutes. So this island's not big. Um, but yeah. Car or truck, either way, right? We don't have Grab here. We don't have Grab. They use a lot of them tuk-tuks here, and they're enclosed so you don't get wet. Yeah, you can rent cars here. I had my name on the sign on the top of the Sorry Sorry store, but followed him long before that. Yes, we had a good time running this Sorry Sorry store. We did. I mean, we had a really good time. I mean, imagine this. We had a really good time during COVID when we ran the store because they had locked everybody in to their barangay area. And you could only go out certain times and stuff. And, the malls were closed. The market itself was limited to who could go there. And we had a lot of customers. I remember I did lives. We had a lot of customers from the day from the the minute we opened to almost the minute we closed, we had a lot of customers lined up down the street, and we were busy. If you're making 30, 40, 50,000 pesos a day, you're reinvesting that back in the next day. That's not all profit. Um, but then, as COVID lifted, and then, two other shops popped up beside us, because, you just can't be the only one on the block making money. And then the long hours, you made a little money. You're not surviving off of it, but we enjoyed it. We enjoyed it greatly. Chuck Mangione died this week also. Son was about 9 to 10 when I took him to a match. A couple big names, but I can't remember. We sat ringside. He was not a fan after that. We could hear him telling each other what were going to happen next. Yeah. Who was the first to slam Yokozuna? For some reason, Lex Luger comes to mind. Now, if he was slammed before Lex Luger slammed him, I couldn't tell you. But I'm thinking Lex Luger. If that's a trivia question. Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy is more real than wrestling. It's about getting people in the seat. It's about telling storylines. And here's the one thing that just drives me nuts now about wrestling. All right. I watch Netflix Monday Night Raw. And thank God for Fast Forward. Honest to God, from when Monday Night Raw comes on, it is 15, sometimes 20 minutes before a match even starts. Before a match even starts. Oh, we're here at, this arena, and we've got this superstar here, and this superstar here, and this superstar. And then, all right, and then a music plays, and then Seth Rollins may come down, or, CM Punk, and it takes him 10 minutes by the time the music plays to the time he gets to the ring, by the time he says his first sentence that nobody else is screaming, and then another 5 to 10 minutes talking about their opponent, and then their opponent. I can't stand that. Let's wrestle. I can't stand it. Before, man, when Vince McMahon was the commentator and they were wrestling, and you had multiple wrestling matches going on, I can't stand it. There's more bullshit talking than there is wrestling. But I enjoy the women's wrestling now. They got some talent. You could also check into PayPal if it works in that area. Yeah, I have people brought that up also. Check PayPal, Gcash. A lot of people do different ways. Schwab and Fidelity both reimburse ATM fees worldwide. You're correct. I know, guys, I'm way behind. I am way behind on a second here. I got to put myself on pause here. I got to get me a drink of water. All right. Let me unpause. Where are we at here? Bruce says, Shadow has a new girlfriend now, but won't show her face. I know that it's your close friend. Well, if he does. If he does, he does. I mean, or is it a girlfriend, or is it a friend? Is it somebody helping him? Don't know. But I mean, hey, whatever. You got to move on. I almost thought Kimway was a shooter in Idaho a few weeks ago. Ah, New life in the Philippines. Good morning, Brian. I did my first live this morning and nobody ever came in. New life in the Philippines. It'll happen. Let me suggest one thing. Put out a notification. I don't know if you did. Put out a notification um, a couple days before, maybe a week before, you know, saying you're going to do a live, what time, Philippines time and date. When you're doing a video, say in your video, hey, join us live uh, July 27th, 8 o'clock a.m., Philippines time and date. Like, advertise that you're going to do a live. You know what I'm saying? Um, I try to put it out there before a live that I'm going to do a live. A lot of times people just know, hey, this is on a Sunday. I do a live at this particular time, but advertise it before the live. And some people will join, but if you just out of the blue do it, they may or may not join. But I would suggest that. Hey, you never know. You never know. GR, how is GR doing? Bill, no, it is not complete. It's a work in progress. The next thing I want to do is go out and buy the framing work to start putting the ceiling in downstairs. It's a work in progress. A work in progress. You're right. You're right. Yes, Lex Luger. Do I remember Dick the Bruiser's? Dick the Bruiser, Detroit. Dick the Bruiser. Heard of the name, um, but don't remember his as a wrestler. Dick the Bruiser. I'm a fan. Lex Luger, Yokozuna. Yes, I remember Lex Luger doing his bus tour and all that. I can't stand CM Punk. I like CM Punk. He's all right. I know I'm behind. Kuya Ed. I not see many vloggers putting in a privacy notice in their video description, according to the NPC Circulation 105. I started doing it on my YouTube channel, cooking channel. What's your thoughts? It's up to I guess it's up to the vlogger. It's up to the vlogger. Some people do it. The little channel, most of the channels I watch, I don't see it. It's only a handful that are doing it. If you want to do it, do it. I think that circular was I think it was a guideline that they can use if they want to go after somebody. If you're not doing anything nasty, you're not doing anything ugly, if you're not targeting anybody, if you're not pulling stupid pranks, you're not disrespecting the people, if you're not disrespecting the country, I wouldn't worry about it. It's up to you. I think it's really up to you. Hello from Calgary, Canada. When I moved there, I'm 22 in, I guess it's in 2026. I was using Remedy and they charge very little. Ricky USA, how are you doing? Never got to notice, Ricky. What's going on? You're a long time subscriber. I actually put up the notice probably a half hour before I went live. Not like I had done in the past, you know what I mean? put it up a couple days in advance or so. But yeah, Bruno Sammartino. Yeah, Bruno Sammartino. I can tell you the era I started watching wrestling. The Samoan Twins, um, the Iron Sheik, Bob Backlund, Jesse the Body, Tony Atlas. I'm trying to think. Who else was around? I watched wrestling before, of course, WrestleMania. I remember watching wrestling on Saturday morning. Actually, Vince McMahon Jr. was the commentator. I think he wore like a yellow suit or a green suit. Um, Bobby the Brain Heenan, uh, the Grand Wizard. Um, but you used to have three TV channels. You had ABC, CBS, NBC, and Channel 12, which was PBS. And then we had this little dial that we had to turn. And we had channel 17, and was it 48? But that was on not the main dial. You guys remember the box TV? And then you had the knob and the other knob, right? And you had to tune the other knob in. And we used to watch it Saturday morning. Now, we didn't get other wrestling areas. Like, you remember wrestling used to be, you had the North, you had the West, you had Texas, you had all these different wrestling organizations. We didn't get all that. The only one we always got was WWE. And did we get, what was the other organization at the time that Ric Flair was in? I think we got that. But yeah. Yeah, I remember that. Jake the Snake, Owen Hart, Big Boss Man, many more. Yeah. Hello, Brian. I followed you over from the Ugly Tours. Enrique, thanks for coming over. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Axel Jim Duggan. You have live streams on Sunday, AMs. When do you start? 8:30 a.m. WCW. Yep, that was it. WCW. Yeah, usually Sunday a.m. Philippines time. So if it's 8:30, if it's 8:30 a.m. here, it would be 8:30 p.m. Saturday night back in the East Coast of the United States. So yeah, usually that's when I do it. NWA. Yeah. Hot Rod Rowdy Piper. Sergeant Slaughter. You know, and then of course I watched it progress throughout the years. So Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. A lot of them. Tennessee Stud. Remember the Brooklyn Brawler? He was just a shitty wrestler that lost every time. Like he never won. He just never won. He was your typical, guy that got beat around the ring. Yeah. What are we doing for breakfast? I got to ask what we're doing for breakfast. We're going to go get something to eat for breakfast. We're going to get something to eat for breakfast. Are we getting something to eat for breakfast? Oh, you ate already?
Down there, turn the pancit.
Oh, you're going to go with me to go eat something? See, Little come with her. She'll eat like down at the Calendary and 50 pesos, less than $1. But I can't eat that cold food. I can't eat it. But she'll come with me up to go and eat breakfast, have a sandwich, and she'll get some iced coffee or whatever. And so she'll come with me. Big John, Big John Stud passed away years ago, right? The Junkyard Jog, the Rock and Roll Express. I even remember Ivan Putski, the Polish Power. He'd finish you off with the Polish Hammer. Who were the other ones? I'm trying to think. Polish Power, Tony Atlas. Oh, who was it? I'm picturing his face. He was like the muscle guy. Superstar Billy Graham. You guys remember Superstar Billy Graham? All right. Yeah. He was a big dude, man. He was the muscle boy. If you go back to like black and white wrestling, right? They're all just guys, big guys. But then you started bringing in the muscle guys, you know? The Mongolian Stomper, Axel, Jim Duggan, Randy Savage. Yeah. All right, guys. You know what? I'm gonna wrap this one up. We're gonna go grab something to eat here. Um, but yeah, like I was saying, it's been a sad week this week with the passing of those three stars. I mean, that was crazy. They say they go in threes, right? And not only that, beginning of the week, our neighbor down the road, how old was he? 90, 91, 92? He was an older guy. He passed away. And so look, in the family, they went down there and, you know, huh? 97, 97. So look, the family went down there and they were talking with the family, and she said she really enjoyed it because 97 years old, never left this island. Never left this island. He remembers the area we live in when it was an ocean, like the ocean was through there. There was nobody even built on that road that we live on. People were afraid to go up the road we live on. It was a path. It was a farmer's path that used to go up up the road and up over the hill and stuff. People were afraid to go back up in there because they said that was like an Aswang sanctuary, a walk sanctuary, right? That superstitious stuff. But yeah, 97 years old. Crazy. But who's first, Eastwood or Dick Van Dyke? Good question. Good question. Maybe Keith Richards. you know, sad. It's sad, but that's life. That's life. Oh, Stampede Wrestling. Yeah. Stampede Wrestling. We could talk for hours about wrestling, but anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. If you're in the States, Bruce, I know it's hot there. Stay cool and don't overexert yourself, Bruce, and anybody else where it's hot. We're going to go Haystack Calhoun. We're going to go to the pool. Now, watch, we'll get to the pool. And because it's so damn hot, the pool might be like a warm jacuzzi pool. You know what I mean? But either way, it's very good food there where we're going to go. So anyways, you guys take care. Thanks for stopping in. Thanks for saying hello. Thanks for your comments. Thanks for walking down memory lane with WWF. I'm going to say WWF because it was WWF. when I started watching, right? And yes, no brownouts. Knock on wood, but I guarantee you there will be a brownout today. Guaranteed. So, all right, guys, take care, and we'll see you later.